So I got kicked out of a Mounjaro Zepbound for weight loss support group on Facebook. I'm going to get into it. This isn't negative. This is actually something I've been meaning to talk about lately, and that's about where we are finding our information lately to help us or guide us on our weight loss journey. And so if you're new here, I'm Jen. I have been on, well, first it was Mounjaro, now it is tirzepatide through Join Fridays for the past couple weeks. I'm down 93 pounds. I've had what I would call, a very positive experience so far to date. And when I first started taking Mounjaro, and this is back in March of 2023, think about it, Zepbound wasn't around. A lot of the talk was around like Ozempic and Wegovy for weight loss. And you were hearing, for the past couple months, a little bit of rumblings about, using Mounjaro, which is a type 2 diabetes, GLP-1, GIP-1 medication for weight loss. I got prescribed and I said, well, I want to find as much information as I can. I want to be surrounded by others that are taking this medicine because I'm not around anybody that is on it, let alone on a, weight loss journey where in my case, I wanted to lose 100 pounds. So I, like anybody else, you go to social media and, I Googled and I found, the biggest one I could find and I joined it. And I want to be careful here because I don't want to be super, super negative, but I'm the type of person that thankfully, when I do go to these type of sites, I don't live by people's recommendations because you will notice that when you join a group that has like 150,000 people, everybody is going to have a different way, or maybe they're just very excited that they have found success and they want to share it. And it's not a one size fits all approach. And so I actually will have to say for the past 3-4 months, I actually wanted to just unfollow. One, because I felt like it was getting a little bit toxic in the sense that I can handle if somebody will say, I haven't worked out and I haven't changed my diet and I've lost X amount of weight. That's their journey. Then there's the other side that is, counting calories, weighing food, knowing their daily calories, how much protein they're taking in, and working out. And then there's some that are, not working out at all, but following along, on a cleaner eating. Like I said, a million different approaches. But when somebody asks for help, you will get a million different answers. And then there's the group of people that aren't even involved in that, didn't ask, they're not asking for help. They're not really chiming in, and they have a viewpoint on the recommendations or suggestions, and they're triggered. And I found that I didn't like how there was a lot of chatter about only being able to consume a couple hundred calories a day. I didn't like how they were showing photos of their food and it had 3 bites out of it and saying, this is all I could eat. But once again, that is their decision to post, just like it's my decision to join the group. And I really, up until this point, if I had to think about it, I have maybe chimed in a couple times when it was very specific, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing Nutrafol. Did anybody take it? Anybody have any adverse effects? I'm on, and they were like, I'm on thyroid med, all these different things. And I was like, I actually fall into this bucket. Let me chime in. And never once am I that person that is direct, take it. It's I took it. These are the positives from it. Do I think it helped? Not 100% sure, that type of thing. And so I'm going to take a little bit of blame for being blocked from the group because I think how I stated my question and just, seeking some advice and answers, I could have done better. And I want to say that right off the bat. I could have done better. But I have been, seeing a lot lately about when you stop the medicine, you're going to gain it all back. And I don't know, I've been fixated on reading some studies, trying to learn about maintenance programs and, trying to live without this medication, that I'm going to be getting off of in a couple months. And I don't know, I just felt like I was seeing more and more of people, seeking advice because their insurance changed, their PA was, not approved, or it's just out of their reach financially. And they're upset about it, rightfully so, because I was a little upset when, my insurance stopped covering it. And, they were asking just for a little sympathy, I believe. And all they kept getting was, you're going to gain the weight back, you're going to gain it all back. Or somebody's like, I gained 50 pounds in, 3 months since being off of it, and all these different things without a lot of context to it. And so I decided to post, once again, probably should have done a better job, but I was trying to seek advice in this group. It's the first time I've ever really posted. Of those that, read the clinical trial for tirzepatide that was based off of weight regain, and just saying, things like, it was only after 32 weeks did they take group B off the medication. And, they were on there's 2 different areas. One said a 500 calorie reduction on like this summary page, but then when you're reading directly into the supplemental information, they kept using things like hypercaloric diet like they would do for type 2 diabetes. And when you look at that, that's a very, very lower than the average 500. And I'm trying to read through it, and you can tell it's kind of like it was a clinical trial that was put out directly from the manufacturer of that medication, ultimately trying to be like, you got to stay on it for life. And in some cases you will, but I don't know. I felt like I wanted to post on the group about it. And there was some really, let me go back. I made the mistake of saying, like, this was wrong, where I said they're probably only consuming like 1,000 calories a day. And I think how that translated over into a large group was me saying they're only doing 1,000 calories a day. And that was part of the trial. But it was more of me just saying very low calorie. And also, in some ways, I was trying to say it in the sense of getting people to realize in that group that they're glorifying only being able to get 8, 9, 1,000 calories in that day. And like, this is some reward. Oh, I could only eat 1,000 calories. And I was just trying to come off and say, well, that is going to set you up for, unfortunately down the road, possible weight gain if you have to get off of it, because that's kind of what the trial was showing. And I got some positive responses. I also got a lot of backlash. And I posted it during the day, a work day. So it was during lunch. So I was able to respond to a couple of them, but then I had a meeting and I was like, after the meeting, I'll just double check to see. And I saw some more responses, and then all of a sudden the whole post was taken down, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I get it. It was going in a direction it shouldn't go into. I wanted to have that debate of those that actually read the full study, not just what they read on the first page or like a, just a summary of it. And, once again, I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a positive experience, because that group is quite set in their ways, in the message they're trying to get out there to everybody. And so it was blocked, or the post was taken down, and then all of a sudden the group completely was taken away, like access. Like I was like, oh, where is it? And then I couldn't find it. I've never in my life have been like kicked out of a Facebook group. I've never been kicked out of anything. Like, I'm the type of person, and I don't feel like I have to validate myself, but I'm the type of person that's received like leadership awards at work, and I'm, been a really good manager of my team. I've had nothing but positive things about me. I've, been captain of teams. I've been selected for a lot of things. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm perfect, but it just means my track record shows that I mean well, and that I love to just learn from others. And I realize this is a very, very touchy subject. And so not only have I been thinking about leaving that group for a couple months, because I really didn't like the direction it was going in. I didn't feel like it was giving really good solid advice other than it's a lifelong medication, deal with it type of thing, or others being, triggered by the fact that, you might have to make some lifestyle changes. People didn't want to hear that either. Some did. And I don't want to speak for 160 some thousand people in that group, but I felt a little relief after I was like, oh, they didn't even just say what happened or don't do that again. You should avoid, giving, things that aren't exactly to the T from a study language wise. And so, yeah, I just was completely blocked from group and I was like, wow, okay, interesting. And I then, being the person that I am, decided that I wanted to look for another, Mounjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide support group. And I have no affiliation to this person. This person, on social media, mainly YouTube, also some other areas, is well liked. And it's Countess of Shopping. And so I've seen some of her videos and I've seen her always say this is a friendly group. This is nothing but positive. And so I was like, you know what? Let me see. Let me just see if this is any different than this other group that I was in. And it's night and day. And I don't want to promote anything that I have no affiliation to, but the support in that group and the respect that everybody gives each other is a complete 180 from this other, larger support group. It is night and day. And I'm not somebody that goes on social media that much because I'm very limited with my time. But I found myself going in that group 2-3 times a day and just, reading the questions and then reading the answers. And every single one that responds or asks a question is just nice and wants help and also realizes that it's going to take more than just the medicine. It's not a miracle drug, and everybody's so supportive. And the purpose of this video really and why I wanted to do this, because I was debating whether or not to really put out there these groups are toxic and I got kicked out type of video. But I'm just saying, if you're in a Facebook support group and you don't like the direction it's going into, look for another one. Keep looking until you find the one you belong in. And part of me wishes I did that because there is so much misinformation in this other group, but that's my viewpoint. And I also understand how difficult it must be for those moderators to have to deal with a group of 160 some thousand people that are very vocal. Social media can be negative, but there are some positives. And so that's what I wanted to share with you all today, is that one, it's great to seek support, but try to find a support group for Mounjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide weight loss. I mean, it could be Ozempic, Wegovy, it could be, semaglutide, it could be, a GLP-1 realm for, weight loss. Look for a group based off of how you want to find success taking this. And what I mean by that is I was somebody from day one that wanted to change my approach to eating. I wanted to heal my relationship with food. I wanted to be more active because I've always been an active person, but I was kind of getting stuck because I was heavier in the things that I enjoyed doing at the gym and, getting out and walking or running, swimming. All of those things were getting out of my reach because I was gaining weight. And so I liked joining this particular group, and I've been in it the past couple weeks, because even though it may not be everybody that's that way, they are all in it to help. They're all in it to learn, and they're just, I don't think I saw anybody say anything. Maybe if they didn't like a particular response, that wasn't maybe what they wanted to do, maybe you should cut out, I don't know, making this up. Like if somebody was just like, I'm plateauing, you know, I haven't lost anything in a couple weeks, you know, somebody could be like, maybe take a look at, you know, your calories, recalculate your TDEE, maybe, you know, track for a little bit, how's your hydration, protein, and, you know, recommendations may not fit into what this particular person maybe wants to do at that time. They were still grateful for all of the responses and recommendations. And that is night and day from this other group. So I don't want to take too much time up with this video. Lesson learned on how I communicate questions in a large group. I couldn't be happier being out of that group. It's one where if you're in it, you probably know exactly which one I'm talking about. But I'm not saying leave it. I'm just saying take a look at where you're getting your advice, and just be very, very careful in that regard, and just try to surround yourself with people that are supportive and are positive and want the same thing that you want, which is to live a healthy life and shed some weight using a GLP-1. So yes, kicked out, didn't lose sleep, not going to lose sleep. If you want to check out, you know, Countess of Shopping, just look for it on the Facebook group. Once again, no affiliation, but I want to thank her for being so like set in her ways of this needs to be a positive space for everybody, because I think that's the number one thing. And that's what people are looking for now, where, you know, social media at times can be toxic. So thank you for checking out this video today. Comment below if you have joined any of the Facebook groups and your thought. And I'm not just saying all of them, just not going to pinpoint any. And what are your thoughts on them? Have you found that you got solid advice from it? Is there anything that you wish they would do more of? I'm just trying to learn. I'm not creating, I don't have time to create a Facebook group. I rather join and contribute that way. But comment below your thoughts on some of these groups and if they've helped you along your way, or, you know, just what you wish you would have gotten out of them if you didn't. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different. I just thought I would share, you know, something that happened, and if you find yourself in a negative situation, just get out. There's other things for you to join with positive people, and just keep looking for it. But I will see you in my next video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.